Have you ever made a decision and regretted what you did? I think we all have. Keep watching to hear my painful story. Hello everyone, my name is Diekola and welcome back to this side of life. If you're new here, welcome and thank you all for joining me today. So today I wanted to tell you my painful mortgage story. As you may know, I immigrated to Canada over 20 years ago. And, after the first year of trying to settle down and having a baby, getting a job, doing all the exams and getting our first jobs. And then a year and a half later, we were ready to continue our Canadian dream and get a house, buy a house. So, as enthusiastic as we were, we went about, looking for this perfect house that would be our first house in Canada. So we did go around the city, around the area we were at, and we ended up finding a place. And, we were not too aggressive. We were, we were really cutting our coat according to our size. We looked for a duplex, which is if you all know, a side-by-side house. But this one had a up and down, which in Canada we call the basement, that was kind of above ground, and you could actually rent it out and live upstairs. So it was like a perfect starter home for us. We thought we could rent the lower level and live at the upper level. I mean, it was just three of us. So we were so excited, and we went and we met the gentleman that had the house for sale, who was also living there at the moment. He was going to be moving to Montreal with his family, so that was why he was selling. So we went and we talked to the guy, and we were so excited. We were like, yeah, we want to buy this house. It's perfect for us. And the man was, okay, you're going to buy the house. He whipped out his contract paper, and this is the price of the house. I believe it was $125,000 at that time. This is the price of the house, and yeah, I'm going to make this contract with you, and you're going to sign here and sign here. And he asked us, are you going to put any conditions? Because of course, when you want to buy a house, you have to get a mortgage, because that's just the way it is. Most people get mortgages to buy their house. So he gave us the the paper, and he was asking us, in fairness to him, are you going to, do you have any conditions, to this contract? You're saying you want to buy this house, are you going to put any conditions on it? You need to get financing, you need to do, an inspection on the house. We were like, no, the house is perfect. We're sure we're going to get the financing and everything is going to be fine. We'll be fine. So he said, okay, you're going to have to put down a deposit of, I think it was $2,500 at that point. You're going to put down a deposit of $2,500, and then I will know that you are really serious, and then we can sign the paper. So we went out and started looking for $2,500. It wasn't like it was an amount we kind of had readily. We had to run around and get it. And while we were doing that, we mentioned it to some friends that we had met when we came to Canada, older couple who had been in Canada before us. And they were like, what is so special about this house? Why are you in such a hurry? What is so special? We were like, no, if we don't pay the deposit now, we're going to lose the house and somebody else is going to buy it. We don't want to lose this house. We really want it. They said, why don't you go to the bank? Why don't you get your financing in place and do that before you sign this contract? We were like, no, we are going to be able to. We both have full-time jobs. We've been working for more than 6 months. Those are the criteria for getting a mortgage, and we are going to be fine. So we paid the deposit and we signed the papers without any conditions. So And then we went to the bank. And lo and behold, the bank refused to give us a mortgage. So we went to different banks and yeah, there was no luck. So we went back to the seller and this guy, I mean, Canadians are, they're very nice people and all that. But this guy, he was like, well, you signed the papers, I have the paper, you signed it, and you said you were going to buy this house and you put down your deposit, and I told you that the deposit was non-refundable and you said you were okay with it. So I'm sorry, that's the way it works in Canada. You have signed the papers and that's it. You cannot get that deposit back. You've lost it. Like, that's what you signed. So that was how we lost our money and we didn't get the house, and we were back to square one, going about trying to figure out how we can get a mortgage and buy a house. So that was $2,500 that was very, very, very dear to us at that time, and we didn't even get the house. So that's my painful mortgage story. So what are the lessons that I learned from this story? The first lesson is that you need to be informed. Like, do your research. Find out about what you're going to do before you do it. I mean, there's a lot of information. Even back then, almost, over 20 years ago, there was a lot of information on the internet. There were all kinds of organizations that would tell you about how to get a mortgage, what you need, what are the criteria, and all that. So get informed, get educated. Like, don't think that you know everything. That's the number one lesson that I learned from that. Number two is never rush to do anything, especially something that's as important as that. Like, I mean, in your lifetime, a house is probably the most expensive thing that you're going to ever buy. And so, never rush when you are making an important decision. Take your time, pace yourself, calm down. I had a pastor who used to say that there will always be a deal. You find a deal on something, you want to buy a house, you want to buy a car, you want to buy something, there's a deal. Don't rush. There will always be another deal. Like, that's not going to be the last deal in the world or the last deal on that thing. There will always be another deal. So pace yourself and be patient and do your homework and don't rush into making very important decisions in life. And number three, don't have house fever. When we want to buy a house especially, or we want to do something like that, we are so focused, and maybe the first one we see is like, oh, after this one we will never find another house like that. It's like, oh, this is the perfect house, this is the perfect one, we have to get this one. No, don't get house fever. Pace yourself. Who knows? Maybe the next house that you're going to find is going to be even better than the one that you had seen before. Maybe your house is still the one that you haven't seen yet. So be patient and give yourself time to make a decision. Then number four, seek wise counsel. And when you get counsel, consider it. Listen to people who are, more experienced than you, people who have gone through it. Like, you don't want to learn all the time from your own experience. You want to be able to learn from other people's experiences as well. Like, so many people have done exactly what you're trying to do. So seek them out and get advice from them and listen to the advice and pick the advice that they tell you, so that you don't make the same mistakes that other people have made. For example, that our senior friends that told us about, slow down. Like, this is not the only house in the city. There are many houses and you have time. There's no rush. If we had only listened to them, maybe we wouldn't have lost our money. Maybe we would have gotten the house. The fifth thing lesson that I learned from this is that you should involve professionals. I mean, there's a reason why we have real estate agents, why we have lawyers, why we have accountants, why we have, like doctors, professionals in their field who know everything that has to do with whatever it is that you want to do in that field. So don't discount that. Don't think that you can do it yourself. Sometimes when you try to do things yourself, you lose. Like you lose your money and other things as well. So involve the professionals. There's a reason why they are there. There's a reason why they are professionals. So if you want to buy a house, get a real estate agent. I mean, if we had gotten a real estate agent, they would have told us you like the house, but yeah, you need to put a condition. You need to make sure your finances are in place, and you put the condition on. You put the condition on that offer as a condition on financing, and maybe you want to inspect the house. Maybe there's something wrong with the roof. Maybe there's something wrong with the electricals. Maybe there's something wrong somewhere. Like you need to put a condition in to say your purchase is based on those conditions being met. You can't just blanket say you are going to buy a house. And don't be too no, because that's what we did. We were too no. We thought we knew everything, and we didn't. And we paid a price for that. So yeah, don't be too no. Involve the professional, and hopefully that would help you to avoid getting into problems like we got into. I mean, we should have made sure that we had our financing in place. We had the mortgage pre-approval like they have in Canada. We should have gotten that before we went out to look for a place, especially as it was our first home, our first house that we were buying. So yeah, and then finally, you should pray about whatever you want to do, so that God guides you and helps you, so that you don't fall into the traps of the enemy to steal your money and to make you spend money that you shouldn't spend. So I hope that helps somebody out there who's trying to buy a house or make a decision on important life issues, that you should be patient, don't rush, and do your homework and make sure you involve professionals and listen to experienced advice. Listen to people who have gone before, people who have done it before, so that you don't fall into the same pit that they fell into. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload new videos. Also, do leave a comment. Let me know, have you made any of those bad decisions, and what have you learned from them? I would really love to know your thoughts. So until the next time, you go out and make it the best days of your life. Bye.